back with or Eyewitness Sasquatch. It's my job. I'm a full-time Sasquatch researcher. I absolutely love what I do. Put up a picture on Instagram and Facebook today that I'll talk about in a few minutes. Let's let the room propagate. Very proud that this is an international show. People from all over the world will propagate into the show and ask questions pertaining to Sasquatch, Bigfoot, or maybe just wilderness, but mostly Sasquatch, Bigfoot. So I have a significant knowledge about the wilderness, specifically the Pacific Northwest, where I have a high level of expertise to deal with mountain lions, bears, moose, elk, deer, wolverines, wolves. Um, that's about it. Not much for snakes, really. I guess the odd little rattlesnake we have here and there, mostly gardener snakes out here. But, and of course, Sasquatch slash Bigfoot slash Oma slash Juniqua slash Winchatatunga slash Sabe. You'll hear me call them a lot. So, and you'll hear in this live show quite often people referring to the Sasquatch as boom, or they'll be saying boom, and that's how the Sasquatch refers to themselves in case you don't know. So when you're out in the wilderness and when they're trying to tell you they're around, they'll make a loud booming sound by stomping their foot on the ground, and which will emanate nice and loud and they'll leave a mark for you to come and explore and find, possibly at a later date. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm super proud that thousands of people watch this show. We were up at the point where it was tens of thousands of people watching the show. Numbers declined after I took a few years to get organized and really come back into what I am now, which is a full-time, 100% Sasquatch researcher. Don't know if there's too many of us out there. I mean, this is literally all I do. This is my job. I take people out, interact with Sasquatch, gather footage of Sasquatch, gather evidence of Sasquatch. Just it's all about learning, really. I know they exist. I'm not really trying to prove it to most of the people that I work with and cooperate with. We're in the know. But as we grow in knowledge and understanding of the species, so does the rest of society. And so there do we provide evidence to the existence of the species. I saw a thing on Facebook today where they were bashing the Patterson film. A guy was like, it's so pathetic people still believe that. Because he's got these little pieces of superficial evidence. One, Bob Hermanus claims that he was in the suit, which is absolutely preposterous. And he claims to know the suit maker, and there's all this evidence. And you know, it's decent evidence. You know, Bob Hermanus literally passed multiple lie detector tests, and Bob Hermanus is a liar. The footage is real, and it's really, there's a little more light. That's better. The evidence to substantiate the reality of that film, especially from my perspective, is just absolutely enormous. One of the most profound things about the evidence of the Patterson footage that they couldn't know is not only were the tracks in alignment, but there's a mid-tarsal joint in the foot that creates a pressure ridge as Patty walked. So let's say this is her whole foot right here. When it was flatter, she didn't activate the grab. But when it got a little bit hilly, she had to grab like this, and that creates a pressure ridge. When you grab soil as your foot goes to the five of the foot stances, or the 5 different positions of the foot stance as it's in motion, it does that grab when it needs to, when it's uphill. We can't do that. Human beings, there's no human being that ever made a grab. Maybe with your toes you could do a grab, but you can't grab to the middle of your foot like a Sasquatch can. And that's literally, I mean, it's not impossible, but back in those days, it was impossible. Today, you could build some animatronics and make that happen. Why would you go through that? It would probably cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to make that pressure ridge grab. What the hell would you be? And then to build the rest of the mechanism and so many other things that this person disregards, that just shows the evidence of that footage is absolutely astonishing and profound. So I want to talk about, so I put up a picture, and before I get into questions, so the family of Sasquatch, or they're not of. So I study a group of Sasquatch, and I feel and I see, even with the footage that I've acquired in Montana and up here in Canada, I've noticed one thing, that they stand together profoundly. It's never have I had an interaction with just a single Sasquatch ever. They always come around with multiple individuals, at least three. When I think, when I know there's three, I would assume there's more like five minimally, maybe seven, maybe 10. I don't know, but they come around in groups, and I feel like since I'm again what I'm believing, the point I want to make here is as a family guy looking for a family group, it's what I put out there, it's what reflects, and it's what I get. So I come out there with a peaceful mind, with respect for the species, and being a big family guy, and being a big part of even not just my inner circle, but my circle grows bigger to encompass all of you, um, in this discovery process. Whether you're a believer or a knower, or just kind of on the fence, you're still in that bigger outer circle that I have of cooperation. I want to hear perspectives. I'm happy for the person that's bashing the Patterson film that I just absolutely treasure, because it's one of the most significant pieces of Sasquatch evidence. I'm Jeff Meldrum has taught me to always keep a little bit of doubt. 99% convinced. I'm not. I'm not going to lie. It's 100. I'm 100% convinced that that footage is real. If I was to ever find out that that footage was not real, it's just not possible. I suppose anything is possible. 99.99999% convinced. Like literally, when Jeff Meldrum goes through the statistical mathematical probabilities of of that footage having been hoaxed, I agree with those odds. It's literally one in like trillions. It's so impossible for them to have hoaxed it with pieces of evidence that he calls counterintuitive. Man, I wish I could film that and show that to people. It was filmed, or it was filmed at a Sasquatch. I can't remember what it was. The Sasquatch gathering that they had in Mississippi that I was involved in, Natchez, Mississippi. That Sasquatch event that was there that he and I attended, and I wish they would get that footage out, because he talks about how literally, see, if you like stats and mathematics, he goes through 5 points that at the time were what he referred to as they were counterintuitive to known science. So at the time, walking in alignment was counterintuitive, mid-tarsal joint was counterintuitive. There's a bunch of things that the Patterson female does that were actually made it look unreal because it wasn't known to science. So for them to have picked those 5 things, it's like 1 in a million, 1 in a million, 1 in a million. By the time you get to the end of it, it's the odds are literally 1 in 100 trillion that they could have faked that, which is at that point, if you do calculus, it's a derivative that's impossible, and it's not even worth considering because it's so impossibly unlikely. So with that math, I'm 99.99999% convinced. And there were other Sasquatch around. That was a female with a young one. Anyways, kind of got a little off track. So, but what I've known too, or another piece of evidence I haven't talked about before, I want to talk about today, is so I study families, I study groups. I'm always around the groups. There's always that. But I know a story, an experience that these native people have in an area I'm not allowed to talk about, where there was an elderly lady who passed away, and the native people there believed that she lived with a Sasquatch for nearly a decade. Apparently her dog passed away, and she didn't get a new dog because it was a Sasquatch. It was potentially injured or for whatever reason. But my point with this is, and the evidence that she lived with the Sasquatch was very, very, very significant. In fact, all the people on the reserve absolutely that had anything to do with her knew there was a Sasquatch up there, and they gave that respect. And what my point with that is if it is indeed true, and if she did live with a lone Sasquatch, she attracted that. She wanted, or that Sasquatch wanted someone who was isolated and alone. That Sasquatch wanted to live isolated and alone, and he got that. So, simply a point of being a family man, I reflect family Sasquatch, family groups. I work with groups of people. I take people out. I have groups that I cooperate with, and that's the Sasquatch that reflects in my life. Whereas, someone who's alone and sort of, just a xenophobe and doesn't want people around, and has Sasquatch interactions will likely attract that, right? As she did. And it worked out apparently to be a very symbiotic relationship where the Sasquatch just lived with her for, like I said, nearly a decade. And it was a wonderful cooperation. But just something I thought I'd talk about a little bit today that was a really cool point. So, because there was a trapper that I that I was working with who was getting tremendous success with Sasquatch, and I believe he had a single individual coming around him, and he was a single individual guy. He had no wife. He didn't like people. And when I had conversations with him, became quite clear to me he never had any evidence of another Sasquatch. And I think that's what ended up happening was once I convinced him that the interactions he was having were very positive, the Sasquatch, he was a trapper, and the Sasquatch would kill a rabbit and put it on his trap line, leave him animals that he was trapping as gifts, scared the hell out of him. But just another incident of, even like Claudia Ackley. She was out with her family, very family orientated, very community orientated, and that's what she got for her her video footage and her interactions with Sasquatch, is the way it seemed to be. So it's part of this quantum thing that's going on right now. That your where your energy flows, that's where your focus goes. Your energy flows, and it's that focus that you'll attract like things back. And I'm seeing that more so with Sasquatch than anything else. So I'm really getting into this quantum energy and frequencies, guys, big time. I'm studying major books on it, going back into the history of like the brain and what we've learned about it, and how the brain really, it's part of your authenticity, and if the focus that you have on it and what you can attract in your life. I mean, these aren't even theories anymore. These are factual proofs. These are scientifically known things. It's brand new information coming up from quantum physicists all over the world that I'm studying. And that's why it's clear to me this discovery is in tune and it's time to happen now. Because what Sasquatch have been doing in nature with their quantum reality, with their quantum consciousness, living in a quantum field that's sort of not even in conjunction with the matter around them, focused on absolute consciousness and focused on just being conscious and aware, um, is very, very powerful stuff, guys. You literally can't live in a reality you're not, at the very least, you have to say you're co-creating, right? And that's powerful stuff as you get into the quantum realm of that. So, and this ties precisely into Sasquatch with telekinesis, with telepathy, with empathic ability, with precognition. It all ties in, and these are all realities that quantum physics is proving. Very, very powerful stuff. Who knew that quantum physicists would turn out to be the greatest philosophers? Like the philosophy that's been taught by Socrates and Plato, and even Einstein's philosophies are tied into quantum physics and chemistry, right? These sciences are coming together. And I think it's absolutely wonderful because they'll bring clarity. And there's no doubt once science substantiates these truths, and they really are being substantiated. I'm talking to quantum physicists that I want to speak in my next documentary, and they're not even releasing, guys. I probably said this last week, but I'm telling you, they are not releasing information that they've known about for at least a decade, because they're afraid about how it's going to create too much of a paradigm shift all at once. They're literally withholding information and trying to release it slowly because it's so overwhelming what they know right now. And it's pretty spectacular, and I'm really excited about it. So let's get into the questions. You'll see I've pretty much fixed my my messed up things. There's Maynard, thank you very much for tuning in today. Boom, I talked about the boom earlier. Hello from Prince Edward Island. Good evening from Kentucky. We're all over North America right now. Does weed attract them? I have no idea. No clue. Uh, Strange question. Can I go with you, Todd? Well, pretty much sold out this year, but I am going to start working to get Kyle some expeditions. And coming out with Kyle, you come out to my research site, and Kyle will give you, literally, we're at the point right now where I could, of the 7-day expedition, there's 3 days of just getting to know the area and going through the tracks and the tree breaks and the structures. There's literally 3 days of just doing that. And then you've got, another at least 3 days and nights to attract a Sasquatch and have a new interaction with them. So Kyle has all that knowledge already. And then once Kyle comes out, everything that happens anew. So Kyle comes out in September. So I'll have been out for June, July, and a little bit of August. I'll have been out for 3 months already. When Kyle comes out with me, gets a tour of the area, and has tremendous knowledge and understanding. He's an incredible guide. He did wonderfully last year. On his expedition, there was a sighting. So he's having tremendous success. And Kyle is a representative of of the growth that the Discovery and Bigfoot cooperation is going to have, because I'm going to start. I am training people to be guides and to go out and create new discoveries of Sasquatch in states and provinces all over North America at the very least. So, good evening, Todd. I'm Tim from Virginia back again. Thank you, Tim. Hey, Andy, my friend. Everybody say, oh, and there's James, Mr. Penner. Had some Penner burgers this week. Thank you very much, sir. It's nice to have you down here in Alberta. So, and James is very well acquainted with many people here. Would you be willing to come to Arkansas to a place I know? Oh, Amanda, it's so hard for me. Just because it's a hell of an expense for me to get somewhere. I got a gentleman who's trying to come out, get me to go out to northern Quebec. Looks like an amazing place on a reserve up there. But the flights, the vehicle rentals, and then I have children that need to be taken care of, and I have to pay for all that. So it's really like I turn into this big now that well, it's my 5-year-old daughter that's a husbandry. So in a couple of years when she's not so much responsibility to take care of, it'll be easier. But you never know. Send me an email. Go to the website, send me an email, give me a proposition. Who knows what can happen? I wouldn't. I'd be much more agreeable. The natives in northern Quebec want me to come out for like 6 days, and I'd be much more agreeable to just maybe 3. I know 3 is very superficial, and I apologize, but I'm just not. I'm not free like that yet. It'll take me at least another 6 years before I can start traveling like that. But by that time, I'll also have other colleagues that'll be doing this and helping me out as well. So I'm excited about that. So just go to my website, discoveringbigfoot.org, and send me an email, please. So, or bigfootencounter@gmail.com. Just send me an email there. That's the email to go to. So, talking too low? Yeah, I'm talking loud. I'm surprised to hear that. I'm thinking they're guardians. That's, shadow, the term, Matt, the term Sylvanic Savanuk in the native language, Savanuk means shadow guardian of the mountain. So those Kootenai Indians called them the shadow guardians of the mountain. They were guardians of the mountain, and yeah, forest guardians. I've heard that one. Forest teachers. So yeah, and I've heard stories where people are messing, damaging the wilderness. Well, even with James Penner up at his area where he has Sasquatch in Adams Lake, they were trying to protect and not have the loggers or stop the loggers from logging in there. You could call them guardians up there, but all the logging that goes on and that they don't want, they're not listened to, and nobody pays attention to them, and it really sucks. So that's why they won't become friends, says Matt. And maintenance worker, I can't believe myself maintenance worker, my friend. So I'm going to Nia Bay, the maintenance worker. So I'm going to Nia Bay. So this is a native elder, Makah elder from the Makah tribe in Nia Bay. Yeah, you're the Makah tribe. So hi all, kaboom. Thank you so much for tuning in today, my friend. Very excited to be going to Nia Bay, probably about 3 weeks from now, right? So hello, John. I enjoy your work. Thank you. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. What a great job I have. So it's really like I worked hard and I took a lot of risks to get here. It's just my path. I'm a hard ass. I like to do things the hard way, but to have achieved this success as a full-time Sasquatch researcher and just doing whatever it took to get there. I became a filmmaker, a director, a producer, a writer to do this, right? So I have to edit movies. Like I just did whatever it took to go down this path. I learned about cameras and equipment that I had no knowledge of. I became a film director for Netflix, and yeah, that's what it took to for me to become a full-time Sasquatch researcher, without having learned about editing, directing film, shooting. Like Survivor Man, even a powerful mentor of mine, doing documentary style films and documentary style filming, I wouldn't be here. So just an example though of when you're calling, when you hear it, and you're passionate about it, and I love editing. I love directing. I love producing Sasquatch stuff and footage, and working with other film crews and stuff. So it's entertaining, and yet Diane Fossey, Jane Goodall were very entertaining for National Geographic, and that's where they had research dollars come in. And I agree, though. How could it not be entertaining? We're learning about the most man-like primate species on the planet. It's wonderfully entertaining. It's very exciting, even, I would say. So, what do Bigfoots eat? Probably very carnivorous, but I have knowledge they eat berries. I know that for sure. And what they herd the elk herds. Elk are probably like more like they're cattle. Certain herds are untouched by wolves and bears and mountain lions. So those are the Sasquatch herds. That's why even I was down in Montana, because that was a big thing, is outfitters would come down into an area where there was like hundreds of elk. And as soon as the hunters got settled up, the Sasquatch would push them off into Lewis and Clark National Forest where they couldn't be hunted. And elk don't know how to do that. Elk don't get herded. They were literally herded by the Sasquatch. So, but probably, omnivorous, probably just extremely similar to us. Even in the scat that I've collected from Sasquatch, unfortunately, I saw no sign of meat whatsoever. I just saw entirely plant. So total vegetation, and the plant life that was in it was not edible to human beings. So it looks like they have a gut that has the ability to digest a much wider range of vegetation, which is powerful, right? So, so hey Tim, we're in VA. I'm in South Richmond. You guys cooperate like that, guys. Talk amongst each other. If you guys can do something to help each other out, that'd be amazing. Boom, everyone. Thank you, Sherry, so much for tuning in today. I'm actually around Chester, so you guys are talking. Boom, hey Todd, Andy, James, Matt. This is Royal Creations. Thank you very much for tuning in, my friend. Todd, is your movie going to bust? The movie Discovery 2024. I don't know. It's I'm happy about the movie that I did, but is it like the original? No, it's totally different. And I'm happy about it, but the original was so many decades and decades of work, and this is not. This is, and the focus and who I was, that all that time ago was maybe more exciting than I am now. I don't know. I I like who I am now. I like what I do now. You know, I get a lot of heat because people are upset that I don't have more footage since 2017. That footage isn't out yet. The California Bigfoot footage. It's just okay footage. It's not amazing, and that's just the way it is. I don't. I'm not worried. I'm showing people Sasquatch now, and if I wasn't showing people Sasquatch, if I was just getting footage, people would be pissed off because I'm not showing people Sasquatch. You really just can't please these armchair quarterbacks. If you don't appreciate what I do, then just unsubscribe and go away, and wait for the next international headline, because I'm not going anywhere. I do show people Sasquatch, and I will get this done. I'm the man who takes people into the field. That's what I do. I am boots on the ground. I'm getting it done, and we're having incredible success. And if you don't, that maybe it's not new footage, nobody's being killed, and there's not violent transactions, you're beaten up and throwing boulders and blood and guts. Sorry, not sorry. You know, we're having peaceful interactions. My interactions are very powerful. The things they do are absolutely amazing, and I'm extremely grateful for it. More than 50% of the time, a Sasquatch comes around on expedition, substantiated by significant evidence. Like expeditions will leave going, even expeditions that are highly cynical go, there was definitely a Sasquatch there. I'm extremely impressed and have had tremendous success. How could I complain about that? So um, maybe even more than that. Like I'm talking like a profound live interaction. Sometimes the Sasquatch are around. I'd say 75% of the time, they're around at the very least superficially. Like on my son's expedition, there was a callback that I heard. Oh wait, we had success though because it was a Sasquatch watching us that my son saw. So that was in Nordegg. We got burned out of radium, so we had tremendous success. When I look back, guys, there's just so much stuff always going on, and even like James Penner had tremendous success. We had that Sasquatch come in. But even if that didn't happen, James, without that incredible day that Sasquatch walked around base camp and then made that sound for Karen, um, even if we didn't have that, we found the Penner playground, right? Like all the evidence. I forget so much because there's so much stuff that's going on. So many things. I get expeditioners calling me, oh my God, I was so excited thinking about that blah, blah, blah that happened. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Even today, I'm going through footage and I've never shown on the day that I was out on the lady expedition and a rock was thrown at the trailer and we all went out and we all had that sighting interacting with at least two Sasquatch, three. Sasquatch took a bite of an apple that was on a cooler, and I have that footage of this huge bite mark in an apple that was left. Like that's incredible, guys. Absolutely astonishing stuff, right? Mind blowing. These are things that people like Renee DeHinden, John Green, Grover Krantz had spent decades, like between I can pick even John Benner with four men that, well, John had tremendous success with me, but beyond that, these men did 40 years plus worth of research each, times 460 years of research, and they never had success in their whole careers. Like I get success on 70% of my expedition. How could I sit here and be, oh, it's not great? It is great. It's amazing. I want more, but let's just take it step by step, right? So, okay, cool. Just outside Heights, so you guys are talking back and forth. Boom from Florida. Hello, Laura. Thank you for tuning in today. I've learned so much from you about the species. Thank you. You're welcome, Marlene Hudson and Hudson. And if there's more questions you have, I'd love to answer them here today. If you have success, bigfootencounter@gmail.com. I'm sure Angie will put that up in a second. Yellow Todd, where do you keep coming up with all the pretty ladies? LOL, latest video was crazy. Just people. I don't know. The most. I'm not gonna say some aren't pretty. It's just you're just noticing. I don't want. You know what? I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I'm very grateful for the people that come out with me, and I find I'm drawn to human beings that are fitter, right? And I guess you could say maybe pretty ladies are fit. I don't know. I think I just prefer fit people in general, but I do take out all shapes and sizes, colors, creeds. It doesn't matter. But just fitter you are, the healthier you are physically, it translates, doesn't it? If you're physically healthy, if you eat healthy foods, you're emotionally more stable, you're spiritually more connected. There's things that just it all flows into that stuff, and it's so important. So um, that's my perspective on that, anyways. Before I get myself in trouble and say something inappropriate. Thank you for your research, Todd. Chris here in Ontario. That's Jelly. Thanks for tuning in today. So subscribe to the channel if you'd like. Says Andy, over 439 videos. Oh my God, on the Discovering Bigfoot website, a virtual library of Sasquatch information. Can you imagine if somebody watched all those? I've actually done them all, so I had to watch them. I don't watch the live shows after, but I don't. I've watched a couple of my live shows after. I don't know. I find myself intriguing sometimes. When was the last time a juvenile was born to your troop? Oh my God, I can't document that stuff. Pregnant females and females that give birth I have nothing. Like maybe 3 incidents in my whole career I could think of. You know, not even, I've never seen a Sasquatch baby that couldn't walk. A baby that, and I've never seen a female like, oh, she was pregnant. Never. Nothing to do with that. So I have no ability to document that. And yeah, the young ones don't seem to come, like really young ones, like anything under the age of 5 years old. Only one time ever I can think of in radium that I've seen a juvenile that was likely 5 years old ish ever. And that's the youngest I've ever actually seen. I hear them around rarely because I know the sound that they make. But yeah, that's even rare, like, maybe 6 times in my career ever. So it's pretty small. Aloha, Hawaii. Thank you so much for tuning in today. So happy to have you here. You living in a beautiful, hot, tropical place. It's been minus 20 here for quite a few days, but I usually love it. I'm just not snowboarding this year, so that's not a big deal to me. How big is the biggest Bigfoot? I have a video of it. Just scroll through and look. The biggest Bigfoot. Video 2, I think, my calculations, that Sasquatch is just absolutely enormous. So you can look into that. You don't find Bigfoot. Bigfoot finds you. One stalked me for a year until I left the state. And I have to completely agree with that. Yeah. All I can do is say yes. I absolutely agree. You Bigfoot finds you, but you also have to attract them. And yeah, you have to attract them. You have to be on par, but to attract them. What are you doing to attract them? And my answer is I'm out there. I'm a student of theirs, learning from them. And I'm respectful, and not just from Sasquatch, about Sasquatch. I'm learning about nature. I'm learning about the wilderness. I'm learning about spirituality. I'm learning about telekinesis. I'm devoted to this discovery process. And when you walk around and you think about it all the time, it's like, well, is it obsession? It's just my job. It's what I love to do, right? I never think, oh, I've had too much Sasquatch. Don't talk to me about Sasquatch anymore. I've never said that ever. Right? It's just when you're passionate about something, you love it. You know, I can talk about it for hours. I could do seminars that 8 hours long, just talk about Sasquatch for hours and hours and hours and hours. So just I've had so much experience, and I just love it. So this show to me, through good times and bad. I have bad times like anybody else, and I'm really devoted to this show because it doesn't matter how great things are. I love doing the show, and how bad things are. This show is like therapy for me. Right? Maybe I'm not thinking about Sasquatch. Maybe I'm not doing Sasquatch. Maybe I'm just in a dark place. Because who doesn't have that? Who doesn't have, especially no disrespect, but if you're not taking any chances, you're doing the same old thing every day, you're in a program, you're in a rut, well, your life is pretty steady. That's not my life. I struggle, I push myself, I challenge myself, I take myself into very uncomfortable spaces. And what you get from that is high risk, high reward, but you fall flat on your face and you get your ass kicked. And that's what happens to me. Even someone who's very passionate, when I do something, I'm very passionate about it and I really care. And then, if you're wrong about the thing you're passionate about, you fall right on your face and you feel pain. And I'll do it over and over again. I will be passionate. I will put my heart and soul into the things that I do. And the consequence of that is, if you fail, then you feel immense, severe pain and you suffer. And then some people go, well, I don't want to do that anymore. That's not me. That is absolutely not me. I will put my heart and soul in this. I will, I'll be passionate about the Patterson film. I know in it. I know it in my heart. And if Bob Gimlin lied and that footage is not real, that's the other thing that I saw in the proof of the Patterson footage being not real, which I don't believe. But Bob Hermanus, who claims he was in the suit, said that Bob Gimlin was in on it, that he helped him with the suit and everything. If Bob Gimlin lied to me, I believe Bob Gimlin. I back Bob Gimlin up with my heart and soul. Nobody calls him a liar when I'm around because he's a wonderful, incredible man. If I found out 100% that he was lying and he deceived me, it would break my heart. It would hurt my feelings. But am I going to be jaded? No. I'll just do it all over. I'll just fall in love with something and be passionate about it all over again. And so the point is, that's the consequence of doing things the way I do. So I have downs. I get smashed, guys. I get KO'd. I fall flat on my face. And maybe people look at me and go, that was a stupid mistake. Maybe you put too much into it. And I'll go, it's not though. It's not, and I don't care. And I don't care what you think about me. I don't care if you disrespect me because I tried so hard and put my heart into it, because that's the way I am. And at the end of the day, that's if I live my life that way, then I just win, because I can go to sleep at night in clear conscience, or if I am hurting for something that's really hurt me, and if I feel that pain, too bad, man. That's what happens when you love deeply and you're passionate about something. So, and that's why with this discovery process, I will never, ever, ever look in anybody's eyes and say, Sasquatch isn't real and I was wrong. I will never do that because they are real and I know it. I remember way back in like 2007 when I'd become a little bit famous and my mini doc was out, and this boy had been following me for a year and he loved what I was doing. He had an Indiana Jones hat on. I'll never forget this. I probably talked about it before, but he wanted a poster sign. He was there with his dad. And he was too shy to talk to me because he thought I was his absolute hero. He's like, because this boy was like 10 or something, shy, and he had a Indiana Jones hat on. He said, "Could you sign this for me?" And I signed it. He says, "And I believe you, Todd, and I know Sasquatch are real. Thank you for doing what you do." And I was like, I knew for my whole life, just for him and all the people like him that believed in me and stood up for me, you will never go wrong with me, guys. I will take this right to the end. Like, I will take this to the mat. 100% is which, not 110%. You're going to get 100.0% from me. Like, every single ounce of everything I got is what I put into this. I don't even, I always want to do a little better. You always look at yourself and maybe I should do a little more. But when I look back at what I did yesterday or last week, I go, man, you're doing a great job. You're doing awesome. Like, you're so into it. You also can't, you can overdo it, right? You can overtrain, you can blow out. So you got to find that balance, and it's hard. But that's what I'm doing every day. And I do bite off more than I can chew. I do fall flat on my face, and too bad. And people will mock me for it, and that's fine. Mock me. Have a good run at it. but I'm the one that, like there's a movie, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's a little old. Maybe some of you never saw it, where he tries to rip up that island. If you've never saw it, so what happens is Jack Nicholson's in a insane asylum kind of thing, a psychiatric facility, and he wants to get out of there. He wants to break out. He's there against his will. So he wants to pick up this whole big island with faucets and stuff on it, throw it through the wall, and then run off and be free. So he tries, he lifts it, and everybody laughs at him because he tried. And they go, and they laugh at him. And he looks around and he goes, y'all sat there and did nothing. At least I tried, God damn it. And I'll go sleep well at night. And he died in that place. And maybe you think it's sad, but then after he died, some big native guy, some big Indian, ripped that thing out of the ground, threw it through the wall, and ran off the way Jack Nicholson wanted to. So point is, Jack didn't make it, and Jack died. But man, that dude went out on his shield, and he tried, and no one's ever going to be able to say that about me. That I didn't put everything I had into this 100%. And I respect the men that have come before me, like John Benernagel. Even I'm thinking about, oh gosh, having a brain fart here. Paul, oh God, so disrespectful. Great man. Anyways, just men that have worked in Sasquatch or Bigfoot research their whole life and didn't have success. And, and other people laugh at them. You spent your whole life, you didn't achieve it. But no, they tried. And they were right. And history will show that one day. And that's all I have to say about that. Because I like Forrest Gump. Even choose a female Sasquatch or a simple level seems like a bizarre choice. Never mind anything else. I don't know. I'm kind of out of that question. Patty's a well-stitched bear hide? Absolutely not. Is that seriously what you think, dude? Patty's a well-stitched bear hide? The Patterson footage is 100% real, guys. Again, 1 in 100 trillion chance that footage is not real. And if that bothers you, then just stay away from mathematics. Don't worry about the statistical reality, because the probabilities have been calculated, and those are legitimately the odds. Conservatively, 1 in 100 trillion chance of that being faked, which is damn near impossible. I am a full-time researcher. If you are passionate about the discovery of Sasquatch and you'd like to help out with the research, Andy has put up links for you to make donations. I prefer monthly donations if you can afford it easily. If you can't afford it, by all means do not. Just support it with giving me good energy, giving me good positivity. Even those people out there that are on the derogatory or on the fence, pray for the truth and I'll win. Pray for all the truth to come out. Yeah, that's all I ever wanted. That's all I ever wanted was the truth. So John Amber says, I seen Patterson film in the early 70s and knew it was real. And that's something my mentors have told me. Let's talk about this for a minute, guys. The Sasquatch, whether you think it's real or not, that's what the Sasquatch want. They want people that are faithless and can't see the truth to go away. And they want people who can see the truth no matter what, who can feel it in their heart. They want those people to be attracted to them and come be a part of this discovery process, become part of the reality of this species. So I was not one of those people. I was quite convinced, for all the BS reasons, and there are BS reasons, that the footage is not real. The science supports it. The truth of it is it's real. I mean, how the heck? There's no mid-tarsal joint. You guys understand? Just even two things real quick. Bipedally, nothing walks in alignment like that. And Patterson was interviewed by Grover Krantz. Patterson, I saw some interviews with him. How do I put this? He's no scientist. Patterson was not some brilliant guy. He was I'll put it this way, he was a very simple man, a very uncomplicated man, if you get my drift. He couldn't have figured this out. He couldn't have done this stuff. He couldn't have known that we were going to discover in decades that they had to walk in alignment like that. Never mind, he couldn't have known that in existence, they were unaware until the 80s that the chimpanzees have a mid-tarsal joint in their foot and they use it. That was identified in chimpanzees, in the anatomy of them. Well, now it's a known thing in biology that there's mid-tarsal joints for grabbing in feet. We didn't know that. How did Patterson know that? And I see it in the biology myself. I see it in the, because I know Sasquatch are real also, which gives me an advantage. Knowing Sasquatch are real, knowing they have that mid-tarsal joint, knowing as a tracker that they, when they're going uphill, they cause a pressure ridge. When they're trying to grab or move in specific ways, they cause a pressure ridge. When they're running, they go up on the front half of their foot. And Patterson identified that in the tracks that he allegedly hoaxed. Nope. The anatomy of the foot is absolutely correct. I have a track around here somewhere. How did he know that? The size, the shape. I've seen Sasquatch females that look like the Patterson female thousands of miles away from where he filmed it. And coincidentally enough, the tracks are nearly identical. They're so extremely similar in fully grown adult Sasquatch females. How did he know that? He couldn't have. It's not possible. So nobody knew that. So the everything about that Sasquatch, my God, guys, it's just so authentic. I've seen, it's just the layers of the blown quadricep as she's walking, and to think that's a suit that someone stitched up. Are you freaking kidding me? So, and then this has to be said too, because I've done this in the 1970s, a few years after the Patterson footage was done. Planet of the Apes came out, and that was the greatest special effects makeup in the world by far. They won a freaking Oscar for it. And you put those Planet of the Apes things next to the Patterson footage. I mean, that's good for a laugh. There is no comparison. Literally, Hollywood experts came out and said there was that one guy who builds these whole costumes, probably if the top 3 best special effects makeup artists on the planet, came forward and said, if that is a costume, that is the best costume I have ever seen. In other words, like nothing he is capable of, ever. You think Roger Patterson did that? A simple, uncomplicated man who doesn't know anything about anatomy? The anatomy's perfect, guys. Like the wear in the arms. Like you can't just pull out a bear suit and wear the arms out like that. Make breasts that bounce. Like, come on, guys. Come on. But anyways, remember, I have to sit back and go, if these people are convinced it's not real, let them have it. Just leave them alone, because there's nothing we can do about that. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. They're not going to drink. They're drinking something, and I don't want any of it. Prove me wrong and make me a believer. This is from 2K. Well, watch my footage. There's really no other way than taking people out and showing them a Sasquatch. I mean, I don't know. My footage is real. I've taken out PhDs and survivor men and convinced them of the reality of my research. Like, what else? I've taken out professors from university. I've taken out men who have multiple men and women, multiple PhDs, like so many, and they're all convinced. So I don't know what else to tell you. You can't prove me wrong. That's for sure. All my footage is absolutely authentic and real. So I don't have to prove anything to anybody. If you can't see the truth in what I'm doing, if you can't, I've been doing this almost, guys. It's coming on in approximately in 1 year. It'll be 20 years, 2 decades. A man who has literally thousands of days of backcountry experience. I don't think too many men in the whole world can touch me. I've got to be literally, I don't think for specifically North America, like I don't know if in North America alone, all the way through Mexico and up into Canada, there's nobody who can really trump me for experience in the Pacific Northwest. That's my habitat, guys. That's my backyard. And I do really well in New York and the East Coast as well. So I've got so much time out there, guys. So much experience. Do you believe Bigfoot could be in the UK? I don't think so, but that's a controversial thing. And I haven't been to the UK. It's just not. Hope you're using sunblock, my dude. No, I'm not actually. And sunblock is horribly bad for you. I was getting cancer on my nose and stuff because I was using sunblock and using and drinking tap water. I stopped drinking tap water, stopped using sunblock. Literally last year, I was out in the sun constantly last year. and my skin is doing much, much better. So my diet's improved, lots of good stuff going on. So the joint ratio, this is from Royal Creations, the joint ratio of Sasquatch in the Patterson film is 73% humans, 50%, not the same. Patterson film is real. That's that's another piece of evidence, that I don't know much about. But there's other things that people substantiate with, and I'm happy for it. Just watch the Olympic projects filming on these nests. They document. What are your thoughts, Todd? I don't have any thoughts on the Olympic project. So I so this is that 2K games guy, 2QI. I don't know what all that means. Alpha is the guy's an alphabet thief. He's got all these little things. I always tune in, but never long, because I see no clear footage. You don't see clear footage. Well, you know what you need to do? If you have glasses on like this, you need to clean them up, get them all cleaned up, take your head out of your glutes, make that popping sound, and look at my movie. Watch it. Because if you don't think that's clear footage, go away. Leave. It doesn't get much clearer than that. Like video 2 and video 3 are good. I mean, it's clearly not a bear moving bipedally running up a hill. But video 3 and 4, Jane and Jake, and then Kubota blinking, if that's not clear footage to you, that's a real living being, go back to your video games. I have no, and I'm not going to be nice. I'm going to be good and reasonable. But if you can't see that footage is clear, you got your head up your glutes. Take it out. I have no sympathy for that. Like I've literally, and I'm saying this, I've literally seen people look at the Jane footage and go, I didn't see a Sasquatch. Okay, do I have to put a little red circle? No, and I point. Is that a Sasquatch? It looks like a bush. It's a Sasquatch. I'm telling this. I'm trying to be nice. No, I'm trying to be good, not nice, because you all have to understand. I'm telling you, about 50% of people, literally. Let me do this real quick. So, let me grab this. Well, here, this is for the person. This is for the person asking these questions. So, literally, most people can't see a Sasquatch there. Right there. That's not, that's just a good. It's a video still. It's not a photograph. And the Jane footage, I don't have a Jane thing handy. I could go dig it up, but there's no need for that. There's no need for that at all. If you can't see a Sasquatch there, if you don't see a Sasquatch, let's zoom in there. I mean, this. If you don't clearly see, like that's a nose, that's a mouth, these are eyes. If you can't see that, unsubscribe, go away. I don't have anything to tell you. And that's a video still. I have like 15 seconds of video in 1080p at 24 megabytes a second footage. Don't know what to tell you. Have a nice day. I wonder if anyone can get out to where the Patterson Gimlin film was really shot. Oh, they've done that many times. I'm sure it's really, oh yeah, Sherry, God, they've done that many, many times. But they took Bob Gimlin back there in some episodes. So at Penner, but I'm nobody LOL. Oh, and that's okay, Mariner, if that's your perspective. I don't mind. I don't mind. Before he died, he admitted it was fake. So here's another lie. So this is that 2K guy. That's a lie, just so you know. And this is the bull crap that comes out. Really, this comes back to me all the time. People are picking up and saying other stuff that are absolutely untrue. Don't knock on the door, please. It's my 5-year-old. So there was a gentleman who made fake wood tracks. And before he died, he admitted tracks that he was setting out were fake. That's not Roger Patterson. That's a completely different human being. And that was publicized by the moronic idiots in the news saying, oh, the footage is fake because the guy admitted it. No, this is a different human being. This is Roger Patterson, and that's Doug Enselite. Like, you understand? All human beings are not Roger Patterson. Do you understand that? So there's different human beings. Understand that? Maybe that's complicated. And you know how irresponsible it is to say one human being admitted he was hoaxing. And what that guy was doing was fake as hell. His tracks would have never fooled a decent tracker, not in a million years. He was putting out wood plaster casts and running around, being a jerk. So, and whatever, he did what he did, but he admitted he was hoaxing in the end, and his family came out and said that, and they tied that to the Patterson footage. Different human. So you're propagating lies. You're starting to get on my nerves because that's not cool, right? So watch what you say, because again, that's like Sasquatch royalty to me, and you're lying now, and that's incompetent. I don't tolerate that. That's completely incorrect. Don't start lying and presenting things that are false because of absolute ignorance, like preposterous, ignorant, stupid stuff. So for me, it looks a little suspect near the lower back behind the. Oh, so even Andy has doubts about it. That's okay, guys. That's okay. Respect. As we get to understand Sasquatch from a spiritual point of view, we had to be careful not to treat Sasquatch as a religion. You're right, and I guess my mentors and I've been accused of that, and I agree. I do treat it not maybe not like a religion, but they're my teachers, and maybe some people get offended by that, but they're my teachers. I really don't have much to offer them as far as teaching, but they teach me stuff, and I learn from them all the time, and I'm extremely grateful for that. Um, do I treat it like a religion? I don't know. Is I don't even. I'm just. This is what I'll say. I'm 100% spiritual. I like connecting to the earth. I like connecting to Sasabe, wilderness. I'm extremely spiritually like if I had a religion, the wilderness and wildlife is my religion. Maybe I shouldn't say that though. I don't know. It's when it comes to religion, it can be a little difficult. Remember, they also absolutely real trackway that they cast. Yeah, the trackway is what is enormous evidence to me. eBay man, Todd from Connecticut. I've heard stories from Native American women being abducted by Sasquatch and giving birth. Any thoughts on this? That has happened. We see it in the DNA. The DNA, it's not arguable anymore. What was it? 9 times human females have bred with, or Sasquatch have bred with humans and produced viable female offspring. So it's happened. I saw a documentary where there was a man that tried to walk like Patty, but was unable to mimic her walk. And I don't know. I think he probably can, sort of. It's the muscle jiggle, though. I'm kind of astonished that there's so much debate over this still, to be honest, because it's just kind of a done deal. So dermal ridges in the trackway, impossible to fake quickly, no way. And I think there are dermals. I'm not 100% on that, so don't quote me on that, though. What's up, Todd? Love the stories you share. Thank you. You're welcome. Cheerful Arctic birds. Arctic birds are so cool, right? Monique, good evening, Todd and room. Hello, Monique. Thanks so much for tuning in. Royal Creations of Siri Moneyham. It's changed a lot where Patty was filmed. How? Oh yeah, so much, right? The Sasquatch are still there, and there are many fresh tracks there. It's not an easy place to get to. Yeah, absolutely. What great, cool names, cheerful. Isn't that? I thought so too, because Arctic birds are amazing. Why do they look so different? Oh my gosh, so that's just female, male. I don't think they look different. Is my answer to that. What does Kubota mean? I don't know. It's Kumba. It's Kubota is the pronunciation. Kubota, and I don't know what it means. I have absolutely no idea. Never thought about that. It means his name. What does Todd mean? Well, I know what Todd means. It means the fox. Is what my name means. Good day from Australia. That's it. Living the dream. You've made us international. Thank you. I always want to go international because it's awesome. So I've seen Sasquatch at different sizes, seen movement just walking away from me, running on all fours, crawl, low to the ground, stalking deer, literally across the road. That's awesome. Congratulations on all that success, sir. I believe and appreciate you. Well, thanks, Elizabeth. I appreciate that. Elizabeth Solomon. Patty is not real. See, Mariners really convinced it, and that's okay. That's your opinion. Respect, and I completely disagree with you. What's your Netflix show called? It's not on Netflix anymore. It's just Discovering Bigfoot. It's now on Netflix. So I got a big donation from somebody, which I really appreciate. If you want to make a donation, it's in here. Andy put it up a couple times. If you actually make a donation to on my website or through Patreon, I actually get the money. I'm very grateful for the platform, for this YouTube platform, to interact with all you guys. But YouTube gets that donation, the vast majority. And what YouTube doesn't get, the American government takes in taxes. And then once the American government's done and YouTube's done taking it, then the Canadian government takes taxes from me. So it's actually getting very, very hard, guys. YouTube is paying less. Now the American government takes a cut before the Canadian government takes a cut. So it's really like it's getting to the point where YouTube, the money that comes through YouTube, they're literally decreasing what they pay creators, decreasing what they pay me significantly. And it sucks because I know that YouTube's making trillions and trillions of dollars and they're paying their creators less. So it's very unfortunate. So my friend and explorer Adam from Australia, is that Adam? Is looking into getting me a. Oh yeah, that's cool. So James wants to get one of those cool. He's got a name for it. He calls it a drew. But it's that cool thing you might have heard it on Crocodile Dundee that makes that really cool, deep, really cool sound. So he thinks it'll impress the Sasquatch, and I have a tendency to agree with him. Uh, Tasia Shu, do you do an amazing work? I'm a medical physicist and completely believe in the probability. My father in Brazil saw Patty in 1967. He told me it's real before he passed. Love your work. Well, thank you so much, Teresa. Brazil, so cool, right? I studied Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So, so amazing. I would like to go to Brazil someday, I guess. And I was going to shoot down here and look for that donator. Oh my gosh, we got a lot of questions today. Please don't be upset with me that I'm moving along slow. $50. So $50 donation shows up as $38, just so you guys are aware. Thank you so much. It's Sasquatch Data MJ. Did you have a question, sir? It's pretty cool. You're obviously severely interested in Sasquatch. So, and YouTube thanks you for the donation that you gave them. And I thank you too. Much gratitude. So, preach, Todd. Oh, here we go. That's how he spoke, haha. Sasquatch, this man is genuinely and loved by us all. Well, thanks, Jay. Not by us all, but some people really appreciate me. And gosh, guys, I'm so grateful for the show. I talk about it a lot. I just love doing the show with you guys. You guys are awesome. You don't have to convince me. I'm a total believer. I never saw Bigfoot, but I did track its scent more than twice. Wow, that's cool. Very, very cool. Remember, if you smell them, they know that you're smelling them. And there's something special about smell, guys, that we don't talk about on a quantum level. Let me tell you something about smell. So there's energy in a smell. So if like when a dog's tracking a fox, it knows when the fox is in, like it'll track the fox. Let's say at 2 miles, the fox hears the dogs, so it becomes panicked and starts running in a panic. Well, the dogs will move along that 2 miles, and when they hit that spot where the fox hits a panic, they'll notice it not in an odor change. They'll notice it in an energy change in the particles, and that's something. This is going to be something that comes out in the next decade or so. When you're out in nature and you smell all those the pine, the flowers, the grass, you know that's getting into your bloodstream. Do you know on an organic chemical level, organic plant that goes into your body, into your bloodstream is so freaking healthy for you. Like it just blends with your body, it takes out toxins, it gives all this good energy right into your bloodstream. So when you're smelling something, you're in a way through particles, you're bonding with it into your bloodstream. Do you understand that? That's no small thing. So you could say that when you smell the Sasquatch, you were literally like those particles came from the body of that individual. When you smell it, it's going into your body, into your bloodstream, and bonding with you. I don't care if you think that's weird. That's an amazing thing. That's a quantum particle bonding between you and nature and a being. And I also know that you should be getting an energy from it. And if you're not, you're just blocked, and you should be. That's good nature, guys. Like when I go out and I start smelling the trees, smelling the grass, smelling the flowers, I feel that serenity from those plants. I feel their wonderful, positive, good energy. Because remember, also, on a very three-dimensional level, we produce carbon dioxide that the trees need, and they produce oxygen that we need. So we have this incredibly important symbiotic relationship. Do you appreciate oxygen? You better. And the trees and the plants appreciate your carbon dioxide because they live off of it. They survive off of it. So we're in a beautiful, don't take that stuff for granted, guys. We are in symbiosis. We are locked in. If we have no oxygen from trees, we are dead, right? But I don't think of it like that. I think of, man, they give us life, we give them life. It's such a beautiful thing, and that's nature, guys. that's grounding, that's connecting, that's eating from the earth, that's drinking the water, that's structured and old and has memories and glacial, fresh from thousands of years ago. Like these are some amazing things that are going on out there in the ecology. I'll just do one more question, guys. I'm going into overtime. So let's go. Royal Creations. I sent a video to Todd on Facebook group, but I will send it to the email next. This is just Kathleen. Oh, can somebody find out about that, James, or somebody? Can you email me that, or just Kathleen? If you have a video, bigfootencounter@gmail.com. It's very simple. So that's what you just send me an email there. Can't wait for the snow to be gone. Zach, is this one of my Zachs? I have two Zachs now. I love the snow. Snow is like sleeping and relaxing, and it's awesome. Have you ever tried to get footage from a drone? Yes, I have a drone. I have the latest prosumer drone that's amazing, and it didn't work last year, and I'm going to try again this year. Hope you have you ever played music? Yes, and something happens. But I feel it more than I can say. Like Survivor Man played his harmonica, that was amazing. But like I never was in a situation where I played music and I had some incredible success that was, hey, made me think I should play music again and again. Unfortunately, so there you go. So Andy actually put it up. If you have a Sasquatch encounter or experience, Andy, you are awesome, dude. Thank you so much. I think they intentionally let scent pass you and see if you detect them because most do not. Absolutely, and again, it's a truth. If you're in tune, if you're connected, and you go, I smell something, and you should be able to go, and it should put the hair back on. If you're really in a space where you're letting your energy flow and you're feeling into that frequency and you're in that moment, you shouldn't be thinking, that's a bear. Like you should really trust your instincts and feel that experience, feel it. Let your instincts take over. Feel the energy of it and thrive in the bliss that is happening to you in that experience, and because it's an incredible thing, incredible. So one more. Todd, remember the video about Kubota? Yes. The situation with the couple from Europe? Yes. Told you, I think her name is Ina? Yes. I'm waiting to see amazing encounter. I can't imagine. Yeah, and I'm trying to work that out with Ina still right now. It's an ongoing process, not so easy. Life happens to people, right? One more. I am Sanana Care. Thank you. Hope you will one day get the recognition you deserve for the work that you put in. I'd sure like to see your face on national news. Well, thank you. Somebody just asked me that today. Just talking to an expeditioner today. He's like, man, you're gonna get apologies from people, something that affect people are sure gonna owe you apologies. No, they won't. No, they won't. One thing I am so good at, like so good at, always have been. People in my family know this, my friends know this. I'm powerfully forgiving, right? I don't have time to linger over crap. We all make mistakes. I love to be forgiving, and I'm never gonna be in anybody's face at all. I think that's when I see people do that. I think that's kind of low character. Respect for their perspectives. They held true. They had their perspectives, and who's to say who's right at this point? Well, I'll say I'm right, but the truth will come out, and I'm excited about it, and we all should be, because this discovery is so incredibly important to this beautiful, incredible planet that we have. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Really appreciate that. Thursday video, Saturday video. If you didn't see the last week's video, it did really well. People are loving it, and I love it. It's amazing. So yeah, and lots more to come. Expeditions are coming up this year. Nia Bay is coming up. We had tremendous success last year, and then did we even have a sighting last year? I have to talk to my expeditioners. We got pretty close. We had some pretty exceptional incidents. The 2 years before that, I had sightings both those years. So I can't remember a sighting last year, but we had a live interaction. It was pretty amazing. And we had live interactions and sightings on the previous 2 years. So my odds are right now 100% for live interaction in the Bay. That's how amazing it is out there. And then 66.666% chance of a sighting if I get a sighting this year. And I got some amazing people coming up, really amazing. Brian, there's some amazing people coming out this year. It's going to be really cool. The expeditioners coming up to Nia Bay have previously been with me on an expedition. And so they're experienced guys, really intelligent, amazing human beings, doing a ton of work, inner work. and I'm very excited to have them out. So Nia Bay is going to be very exciting. Lots more to come, guys. Stay tuned. The discovery is happening. Thank you so much for your support. Take care and bye for now.